Welcome to Married with Gaming. I'm Jen. He's Mike. Let's roll some dice.
Welcome back to Married with Gaming. I'm Mike.
And I'm Jen. And today we're going to talk about our home game that Mike is running and I am the lone player in. And a while back we did a video of me painting some miniatures, and over that painting video I'm telling the story of the characters, who are Cindra and Keleth. They are a married couple, and this is their adventure.
Right, and it was a kind of an off and on game to fill in when we weren't playing something else, and then even as our other games that we participated in, some fell off the bandwagon. Mm-hmm. We fell off the bandwagon with this one too, but we're saying, hey, we liked playing it. Mm-hmm. Let's make time and do it. Mm-hmm. And that's what you should do. Make time for things that you like to do.
That's right.
And not excuses, which I'm too good at.
And it was fun because it's just the two of us. So it was kind of
Which should make scheduling easier, but it also makes excuses easier, or we got to do other stuff or errands.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. So basically, Cindra is a cleric, and
go
ahead.
Let's go. I know I was going to do a thing on this, but basically we're using Old School Essentials rules, which is basically BX cleaned up and filtering a little other things in at times, homebrewing a little bit, and whenever relying a lot on, of course, the random tables, things like that, procedural. And where I need to, of course, I use the 1E DMG as a thing to help construct stuff as well.
And we're doing it kind of like a hex crawl.
Yeah, establishing a safe base, and from there go out as you have gathered info and rumors, and then figure out what's safe to going after it, and then deciding whether you're going to proceed. Mm-hmm. And then,
Right.
So far you've not died.
Barely. Yeah.
So go ahead and recount your adventure.
Yeah. So Cindra is a cleric of Frigga, and then Keleth is a fighter. And they both grew up in the same small village, and they're married. And so they're off to start their adventure. And they go to, they sell everything they own. They get on an elven sky ship, and they go far away.
Your first mistake, probably, I'm going to say, is not making a tragic backstory.
Oh, they have a tragic backstory. No. It's all in the previous video, but yeah, there's a tragic backstory. So yeah, I went that route. So they sell everything they own, and they get on an elven sky ship to go far, far away to a dwarven outpost city, where they establish a base, join an adventurer guild, and pick up a hireling, who is a young boy named Carson. And Carson is a rogue, I think, right? Or a thief?
He's a thief.
He's a thief.
It's old school.
It's old school, right? He's a thief.
But also, on that travel there is where I tried to introduce some other potential fill-in characters that you might want to take on as retainers.
Right. So there was...
And they also were established as a possible competitive adventuring.
Right. Yeah. We met a couple of elves. Onyx was really reclusive. And then the other one was Andriel. And then there was the captain as well. And then in the city, we met a halfling who was really helpful. I'm trying to remember his name. Beckett. Showed us around because he'd been there a month. He was also an adventurer. So, and then we had a lot of leads for things to go do.
Right. And so, of course, some were, just various clues that were either, I made them up or generated that were pieces and parts of, things that you could go and do.
Mm-hmm. We had a lot of choices.
Mm-hmm. And the basic format was to establish it as kind of a safe hold.
Right.
But you couldn't be too familiar because it is controlled by the dwarves, and you're in the kind of basically the trade section of the city where they allow other races to kind of mingle and set
Right.
off.
And this was kind of a frontier. It's like an outpost city, like on the edge of a frontier. So it ended up being a place where a lot of adventurers will go to start their journey into adventuring, I guess. So
Without getting lore deep, it is considered a holy place for the dwarves there because their goddess of the hearth has a temple there.
right,
But
and it's like the side of a mountain or something, right?
Right.
Yeah.
The dwarves.
Right. So, and then they have an adventurers guild, so we went and signed up. We got basically they'll keep your treasure for you too. It's like a
Well, yes, the Adventurers Guild was kind of a thing to also establish that whenever you come back
That
into
safe
town,
place.
they're going to whenever you come back to town, they're going to take a portion.
Yeah.
It's
yeah. They take some of our
you never get away with
earnings.
taxes. Not even
Right.
in D&D.
Right. But it was kind of nice. We knew we had a place to go back to, and then having met some of the locals, we were kind of establishing some time there in the city. We spent a little bit of time, but then like I said, Carson kind of came in, and then we eventually got hired by a dwarf named Vargol Deep Delver. And he hired us to go check on a mine where he had some workers sent and they never returned, I think. Or adventurers went out there and never returned.
Well, kind of. Yeah, well, he has the deed to the mine, and some relatives of his went out there
Oh, that's right.
to kind of establish control, and they never came back. So he was kind of concerned.
All right. So that's the one we ended up accepting, the job offer we ended up accepting. And because Carson was basically a teenager and he didn't have a lot of gear, we were very generous, and we both kind of saw him as a younger brother, so we helped him get some gear and told him he could come with us. So and of course he was going to pay us 100 gold each and provide all the necessities for our travel.
Food and such.
Yeah. And it was a 5-day journey to the mine. So we set out and through some farmlands the farmers here are mostly halflings on the outside of the town.
Somewhere.
Well, that's what you told me.
Somewhere, yeah.
And we keep a journal. So, yeah. So the first day we were out, we were still kind of near-ish the outpost, and a random encounter roll.
The first random encounter of this game was a dragon. And of course, fair and balanced, probably not. So I introduced it by, it shadow flies over, you can take cover or you can whatever. You did hide from it. It did land on a outcropping of rock.
And grabbed a sheep.
Yeah, it had grabbed a sheep, and its maw was just covered in blood and gore, which seemed to enjoy that feeling of the warmth against its coldness because it was a white dragon. And I mean, it was a random encounter that you decided not to engage with. And after a time, it departed, and it did set the time scale back, which did impact a few other things, but that's not here nor there.
Well, and then we knew to be more cautious traveling forward, trying to stay near the tree line and not out in the open. There were a lot of animals that we passed, but we really didn't have anything else until the 5th day, and we sighted another dragon that day. So, but it was in the distance. So, and it looked like it was either copper or gold that time. But we did not engage, and we stayed hidden. And so it delayed us a little bit, but we did finally find the mining camp. and it appeared to be abandoned. And there was one main building kind of all boarded up. So we ended up, Carson heard noise inside. So we broke into a window, and there were skeletons in there with their mining caps on. So probably had been locked inside, we were guessing. But Cindra, as a cleric, was able to turn them successfully, which was nice. So we grabbed a satchel that was in there to kind of see if we could get some information about who these people were, or
Right. Since they were basically contained in a building, you kind of did the turning, but they had nowhere to leave, so they just all
ran to a corner.
went to the side, and you snagged the stuff. And
Yep, and then we left and boarded the window back up.
right. I mean,
so
again,
they might be young, but they're not fools.
The number of skeletons there would have been probably a big challenge.
Yeah,
but you overcame. See, this is another point. It overcomes the challenge without, necessarily having to go into combat.
Right. So inside the satchel we found a letter, but I think Keleth is the only one who can read, and he only reads common. So I think it was probably in Dwarvish or something, but we couldn't read it. Some glasses, gloves, a tobacco pouch. So we decided, okay, well, we saw 3 skeletons with mining caps. Maybe these were miners, but let's go to get the information on the situation from the mine, which is what we were tasked to do. So we went into the mine. We find more skeletons inside, and Keleth is a little bit injured, but he manages to get through it. We destroy the skeletons. Later on, we pass a tool room, and then like a machine room where we find 3 more skeletons that we have to destroy. And there's a wooden cage in one room, but the door is open, and what was inside of it was this, it looked like a big armadillo or a sun spider, and it turned out to be a baby rust monster. So, and we killed it, but it destroyed some of our gear.
Yeah. You also acquired some.
We got some ledgers. We got, they were 100-year-old ledgers, and we saw tracks from people outside the mine heading west, and 6 stones were arranged in an arrow showing that the people probably went that direction too, which was away from the city, if I recall.
Yes.
So, and then we decided before we left the area, because I mean, that's what we were supposed to do, get the information for Vargel. So we did. Before we left the area, we did break back into the building and kill the other 3 skeletons so they wouldn't hurt someone else.
In the mines, you did find an item, a magic item.
Did we?
Yes.
We must have. I don't remember.
Then scratched it off then.
No, I don't remember which one.
Pickaxe?
Oh yeah, we found a magic pickaxe. That's right. We found a magic pickaxe.
Yeah. Which, in the adventure I used, I just kind of reformatted it, but it did have a pickaxe listed as an item. I don't remember if it's magic or not. We'll look at it. But what it was is when I rolled treasure for this, it gave a sword that was +1, +3 versus undead. Which I thought was like, well, that's pretty dang powerful for first level. But on this case, I went with the dice, but instead of it being a sword, I just like, well, it says there's a pickaxe. And that makes sense for it being there. And dwarves. And dwarves that were probably killing undead.
Yeah.
And so, well, one of them failed to kill that undead, and so the pickaxe was left, and then we reclaimed it.
Yep. And then we headed back to the outpost again. 5 more days journey. We had a basilisk that we narrowly avoided an encounter with. At least what we assume was a basilisk. A mountain lion.
Again, on the basilisk, that was a thing that came into play, which sometimes, like some games or even modern, it's always here's the encounter. But I had to reevaluate because it was like that the distance you would have countered it, it was far enough to where you kind of get a hint to go, that's a big freaking thing. It's like,
Yeah. We definitely took the path of avoid when possible. So, and so we made it back to the town.
and you saw it before it really saw you, which is good because,
Mm-hmm.
if it saw you and you were close
Mm-hmm.
enough.
Yeah. So we got back to the town. We got a good chunk of gold each. We decided to, even though our deal with Carson was not a full third of the share, we decided, to give him a full third of the share because we're nice people. So, um, yeah, and then the pickaxe, that was our treasure for that session. And then we spent a few days in town, and then
And
next
with
adventure.
that kind of thinking is when you give, you know, a more of a share to hireling or retainer, that can either bump them up, it will bump them up positively in the reaction and into their loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's another thing that I think, is sometimes overlooked in some things, because, but yeah, so that was a good thing, It's like then that NPC looks at you more favorably, whatever that word is, favorably, and will be more inclined and less likely to be like, I'm out.
Yeah, steal your stuff or leave you,
Yeah.
or yeah.
So
So that was session 1 for our little home game. So I guess we will see you on the next one. Happy gaming.